Hey everybody, back again with some more History Maker Baseball. This one's going to be a little bit different though because I did some tinkering with the game, and this is purely experimental, just something I was doing on my own just to see how it would play out. I did a video a while back about trying to tinker with the game engine and add more lifelike left-right splits to the game, and I was going through the playbook and making certain things to be other results, and I wasn't really happy with that. But I've stumbled upon something else that may work better, and I'm actually going to try it out in an actual replay of a game from the 2016 Major League set that Play.com is offering right now, a mid-season set on PDF. And it's going to be an August 1st game between the Boston Red Sox and the Seattle Mariners. So what I did is I went through the player cards for both teams, and I printed them on regular paper, not the stock paper, so that I could tinker with these, and if I didn't like it, I could always switch it and print them off on stock paper later. But what I did is I, instead of changing the book, the playbook, I changed the cards. So if we look at, say, somebody like, say, Jackie Bradley Jr. for the Red Sox. All right, now Jackie Bradley Jr. is a semi-hero, a slugger, and a semi-whiffer, and he's semi-iron, according to the ratings. Now, when I look at his actual statistics, he is a much better hitter against right-handed pitching than left-handed pitching. So originally I would have given him the platoon quality, and then I would have checked in the book to see if he had a platoon quality. But then I thought about why not make a second batting column versus left-handed pitching and a column versus right-handed pitching. So what I did is I created a Jackie Bradley card, and I took the numbers that he had against right-handed pitching and put them into the player creation system. And this is the things he came out with. Against right-handed pitching, he's a hero, a slugger, patient, and a whiffer. But against left-handed pitching, he's semi-utility, a semi-slugger, and a whiffer. And I also looked up his defense. He actually has a .991 fielding percentage. I think he's only made one or two errors all year. So I don't know why they gave him semi-iron. I actually rated him semi-gold because in my mind, that's where he should be. But that's neither here nor there. Keith always encourages us to, if we don't like the way someone is rated, to change it to our liking, which is what I did. So that's what I've done here. I've got a column versus left and a column versus right for the batters. Let's look at somebody else. Look at Hanley Ramirez for Boston. I'll show you his original card. His original, and of course I wrote the platoon in ink here on my own. The original card was slugger and semi-whiffer. Well, when I broke it down between what he did against right and left-handed, he really tore up left-handed pitching. So against left-handed pitching, he's actually a hero and a semi-champion, along with a home run king. He's actually semi-patient and a semi-whiffer. But against right-handed pitching, he's only a semi-slugger and he's a whiffer. So you can tell the difference there in what he did versus left or right. So I thought that might be a better way to represent things. And the last player I want to show for Boston is Travis Shaw, because I've also edited his fielding as well. Travis Shaw, the way it came from the set, he's a slugger, a semi-eager, and a semi-whiffer. And fielding, he was neutral. He had no rating for his fielding. When I looked it up, he played first base and third base. Now, at third base, he was horrible. At first base, he was flawless. So what I did is I changed his fielding rating to be iron at third base only. So if he plays third base, he's going to be iron. If he plays first base, he's going to be neutral. All right, and I also took his batting statistics versus right and versus left. Much better against right-handed pitching. He's semi-hero, a slugger, and a whiffer. But against lefties, he's a semi-sad sack, a semi-slugger, eager, and a whiffer. So that certainly, to me, would make a big difference whether he's facing a left-handed pitcher or a right-handed pitcher, and make it a little bit more realistic. What I did for pitchers, because there's also pitchers involved here, but with the pitcher cards, you can't really, or at least I couldn't figure out how to do it, because two columns are already used as they are. You've got his batting column and his pitching column, so I couldn't figure out a way to do a separate rating for when he faces right-handed pitching and left-handed pitching. So what I did is I looked up the left-right splits for the pitchers, and if they had a significant discrepancy between lefty and righty, I actually cut out, it's kind of hard to see on here, I actually cut out and put a platoon symbol to put next to his other characteristics. So it's called a platoon, and when they had only a partial differential, like Felix Hernandez, he was only slightly better against right-handers than he was left-handers. I gave him a semi-platoon. And how that results in the book is I went ahead and took some of the blank characteristics. In fact, there's 5 blank picture columns that I calibrated for the platoon, to check a platoon quality. So on the 1-3-3, I've got platoon, yes or no. If the pitcher has the platoon advantage and he's rated for a platoon, then the batter would fly out and you wouldn't even get to these other 2 results. So let's say, for instance, that Felix Hernandez is in here pitching. He's got a semi-platoon rating. He's facing Mookie Betts, who's a right-handed batter. So he rolls a 1-3-3. It says platoon. Well, if the decider die comes up as a dot, then yes, he would have the platoon quality. And Mookie Betts would fly out to center field. He would not be checked for a slugger or anything else. He would simply fly out to center field. If the decider die was blank, then we move on to the regular results. And the same with Steve Cishek. He's got a full platoon quality. So if that same roll 1-3-3 came up against a right-handed batter, then since he does have the platoon quality, it would be a fly out to center versus going to this chart. Now, if he's facing a lefty, you just skip all this because that platoon only applies if it's the same handedness. For guys who had reverse splits, I didn't even include that. And guys who had marginal, I didn't include those either. Same with batters. If their left-right splits as batters were reasonably close, I didn't even mess with them. I just took the guys that were more on the extreme side. All right, 1-5-5, I made this a little bit big because I had to, because there's a whole lot to print out. On the 1-5-5 quality, I'm checking platoon again. Platoon, yes. If it is, then he fouls out to the catcher. And the other caveat is, if he's a whiffer, he strikes out. But if he's not a whiffer, he simply fouls out. So Steve Cishek is facing a right-handed batter, and the batter is a whiffer, he will actually strike out, not just foul out to the catcher. If he's not a whiffer, he'll foul out to the catcher. If it's facing a left-handed batter, then we just skip all that and keep going. All right, I also did it for the 2-4-5 quality, and this is the same as a 3-5-6. I said if it's the same, if it's a platoon, which means the same as same. Platoon, yes, strikeout. So it's not exactly the same because in the 3-5-6 roll, every right-handed pitcher facing a right-handed batter would get this perk. Here it's only if their statistics play that out. So Cishek having the platoon quality, he would get that strikeout. Wouldn't need the decider die. Felix Hernandez, he's got semi-platoon, so he would need the decider die to get that strikeout. All right, over here to the 3-4-6, same kind of deal. It was blank originally. Sorry about that. It was blank originally. So I'm saying if he has a platoon quality, then he will pop out to the infielder of your choice, or my choice, since I'm the one doing it. So that's what that would be on the platoon check. And I've got these taped on here on paper so that if I decide that, this is a waste of time and I'd rather go back to the original, I just untape it and it's gone and I'm back to square one. All right, same with 4-5-6. 4-5-6 is going to be the same as 2-4-5. If the platoon quality comes up, he will get a strikeout. So, and I did that as a strikeout because right over here it's got a walk. So I wanted to kind of counterbalance a walk and a strikeout together. So that's what I've done for those 5 situations. And like I said, they only come up when a pitcher has such extreme left-right splits that he gets a platoon quality or a semi-platoon quality. And when I say extreme splits, I'm talking about somebody maybe where a left-handed batter hits 280 against them, but a right-handed batter hits 190. Something that's almost a 100-point swing or about a 70-point swing at least. If it's under a 50-point swing, I'll give him if it's around a 50-point swing, I give him a semi-platoon. If it's less than that, I don't think I even mess with it if it's less than that. And I've only done this with a couple of teams. So, like I said, I'm doing it as experimental. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, this is like the laboratory, but I'm actually going to go and, or this is like the classroom. I'm actually going to the laboratory here shortly. and actually play a game between Seattle and Boston using these new left-right checks and the platoon checks in the book, and see how it comes out. See if it makes sense to pursue this. And the stats are real easy to get. The left-right stats are real easy to get. Just go to MLB.com and player stats are broken down there for you. It's very easy. It took me no time to do that. And then I can just take the player creation book and use the batting stats versus Lefty, and that gives him his rating, whether he's a hero, a slugger, semi-sack, or whatever. But just wanted to throw that out there, that's what I've tinkered with here lately. I'm still playing the Braves and Cardinals replay. In fact, I just finished game 44 and put it up on the blog, so you can check that result against the Cardinals. And I'm still messing around a little bit with the fictional set that I purchased to get that going, to get everybody at least one game so far. But I was really curious with this 2016 professional set, three-quarters of the season done, to try this left-right split out, because it really, to me, it adds a little bit a component to the managing, because you really have to think about when you bring a reliever in and you bring a righty or a lefty, it's going to make a difference now. The other perk or non-perk that I'm adding on my own is the ace quality on the first batter faced by a reliever. In this game, the reliever will only get the ace quality if he has the platoon advantage. So in other words, if, let's say, somebody like Travis Shaw is coming to bat for Boston and Seattle wants to go to the bullpen, well, if you bring in Steve Cishek, who's a righty, that's not a platoon advantage. That goes in Shaw's favor. So I would not give Cishek the ace on that first at bat. However, somebody like Mike Montgomery, who's a lefty, if I brought him in to face Shaw in the first at bat, he would get the ace quality. And the same with the thing with the right-hander. If I brought in Montgomery to face Dustin Pedroia, he would not have the platoon advantage, so he would not get the ace quality on the first at bat. He's still a semi-ace on his card, but I mean, quality-wise, you know what I'm talking about getting that additional perk. So that's the other little side thing I'm going to contemplate there. And I will do a video of this game so you can see it and see how these things play out, and see if it's something that's too cumbersome or whether it's something that you find enjoyable. Like I said, it's very I didn't think it took that much time to do. I'm a big numbers guy, so it was kind of fun for me to do this. And I don't mean to try to bring sacrilege to the game, because it's a great game the way it is. It's just those of us who play these games like to tinker. It's just in our nature. We try to improve, even if it's if we think the game is really spot on. We still find ways, or try to find ways, to maybe improve the experience, and that's all I'm doing here. So I'm hoping that that this will turn out okay. Like I said, it's something I've never tried before. I'm going to try it out now and see what happens. And I just, out of the blue, just decided to pick Seattle and Minnesota. I'm sorry, Seattle and Boston, because they are two playoff contending teams. And I'm going to replay the game from August 1st, 2016. In fact, I've already got the score sheet printed out. Pull that up here if I can get this out real quickly. I'll find it here for you. Okay, yep, August 1st, 2016. Boston is traveling to Safeco Field to take on Seattle. It'll be Eduardo Rodriguez, the lefty for Boston, against James Paxton, the lefty for Seattle. And I intentionally chose this game because of two left-handed starters. So I wanted I figured with the lefty starters, that might factor more into the splits and engage them a little bit more. So that's what we're going to have. So if you look at Boston's lineup, Ramirez gets the extra boost because he does much better against left-handed pitching, so he will be a better hitter. And somebody like maybe Jackie Bradley would be a little bit less. He would be lessened. He would not be as great of a hitter because he's facing that lefty. Somebody like Ortiz, his splits were close enough where it didn't really matter. And same with Seattle. If you look at Seattle, somebody like Aoki, who's not even in the game because of the lefty pitcher. That's why they had Heredia starting. It'd normally be Aoki, but if it's enough of a decision where Seattle wants to bench Aoki, then I think the left-right split really does have its rightful place in the game. So we'll see what happens here. I believe Nelson Cruz gets a little bit of a boost off of the facing the lefty as well. Have to wait and see on that. Kyle Seager's going to be hurt by that a little bit. He is, the way I figured it, he was a semi-champion versus righties. But against lefties, he is blank on the batting average. And so that's about it. So I'm going to try it out, see how it goes. And hopefully this will be something that will be at least moderately interesting to everybody. So I know there's quite a few, especially guys that really, really like History Maker Baseball the way it is, that are going to look at this and just like, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time? But like I said, people who play these games love to tinker, at least I do. So I take certain opportunities when the mood strikes me, and the mood did strike me the last couple days. So I've been working on this for a couple of days to figure out exactly how I wanted to try to get the game to factor in maybe a little bit more left-right splits. And these are the two things I've come up with: separate columns for the batters, lefty versus righty, and then a platoon quality to add to the other qualities for a pitcher. Because to me, somebody like especially a lefty relief pitcher, let's look at Montgomery. The manager's going to bring him in to face left-handed batters with the assumption that he's going to do better against lefties than he does righties. And so why not take advantage of that? If he's got that platoon advantage, to me, that's the fact that he can get left-handed batters out is just as much of a quality as him having control. I mean, to me, it's the same thing. If you're not going to count that he can't get left-handers out better than right-handers, then why bother saying he's a control pitcher? Just make him neutral all the way around and let the dice fall where they may. So that's just my editorial on that one. But I'm like I said, I'm a little different. Hopefully, a little strange. Hopefully a good strange, but still a little bit different than some people would be anyway. I'm not trying to turn this game into Stratomatic or anything like that. It's just trying to make little nuances that hopefully will increase my enjoyment of the game. And like I said, it's a whole tinkering thing. Now, would I want to go through the whole league and do this? Well, maybe. Maybe not. But I'm going to try it here with this extra set that I printed out on regular paper here at work. So I didn't have to use the stock paper. So I'm not damaging my printed out cards that would be used normally. These are just flimsy little pieces of paper, so they're easily reprintable. And I've saved all the files so I can go back and redo them if I don't like them. And that's it from here. I'm going to go ahead and try it. And the next video I put out on regards to this will be the game itself. I don't know if I'm going to attach that game video to the back of this one or keep this one as a standalone. I will probably keep this as a standalone because today is Thursday, September 15th, and I may not play the game until Saturday. So might just put this out and let folks chew on this for a few days and see if there's any interest in even watching me play a video of this game and using these cards. I'd be curious to get people's feedback, either good or bad, about this idea. So that's about it from here. I'm finishing up my lunch break at work, and I got to get back to work. But I thought I'd just sneak into a conference room and put this out there and let everybody, make the decision for themselves. So that's going to do it from here. I hope everybody has a wonderful time playing not only History Maker Baseball, but any other board games that you play. The main reason we play these things is to have fun and maybe escape reality for a little bit. And also for these types of games to, to fulfill your inner manager that you might have tucked down inside of you. So that's what we do, and that's the reason why we do it. So everybody have a wonderful time playing whatever game you're going to play, and hopefully you will tune in to the actual game that I'm going to play on Saturday. August 1st is the replay date of this game, Boston, Seattle from Safeco Field. It'll be James Paxton against Eduardo Rodriguez. And the home plate umpires will be Mike Estabrook, Dana DeMuth, Ramon DeJesus, and Paul Emmel. So I may have to create one or two if they're not in the original umpire set. Everybody have a wonderful time, and I will see you down the road.